start, if you just got some general comments about heading into spring ball next week, and just real quick how it's been the last month, and then we'll open up for questions.
Excited to get started with spring football.
That's good. That's a good comment.
Well, Eli, your line last year with the tight ends was always, I remember, desperate effort was what you wanted out of those guys. Quarterback, a little bit different kind of position. Is it you take a different approach, or is it the same kind of thing you're looking for out of these guys?
I think anytime you play football, you got to play with extreme effort. It may not show up on film the exact same way, but there's always area of the game that you can play with a lot of effort, carrying out fakes. So absolutely, they're going to play hard, and that's what we want out of them. It'll be different. I mean, it'll be different. Coaching quarterbacks is different than coaching tight ends for sure.
When was the last time you coached quarterbacks?
I was in high school when I coached high school football.
What what are your key coaching points or areas of emphasis you have with quarterbacks, things you want to see?
Well, we have 5 requirements, position requirements for the quarterback position. It's toughness, preparation, decision making, accuracy, and leadership. So, those are the 5 things that we're going to focus on. Now, when we talk about specific things in drills, there's things that we, are going to focus on every day that we ask those guys to perfect. Leaning a lot on Coach Harsin and his expertise at that position, but it's football at the end of the day, and we know how to coach it. We'll be fine.
What's your message been to those 5 guys going into this spring? What do you want to see these next 5 weeks?
Yeah, never settle for second while first is still out there. It's a competition, and competition makes everybody better. And so we want these guys to be ready to compete. The job's not going to be won or lost on day one. It's going to be a process, and so go out there every day, compete, show us those 5 characteristics, and you do those things, and then you got a chance to be the next Boise State quarterback.
How do you approach reps? Do you kind of go into every day with kind of a plan, or you adjust as guys are doing well or not doing as well? Or?
We kind of have a plan for the first 3 days, and there's a pecking order of who's got to go out there and start the very first practice at quarterback. But everybody's going to get their opportunity to go with the 1s, and then rotate through with the 2s, and rotate through with the 3s, and Coach Harsin and I and the rest of the offensive staff have set the criteria for what we're looking for and how we're going to measure the competition, and it'll be pretty obvious. We're pretty confident about that. I mean, somebody's going to step up and be the next quarterback here. We're going to play September 4th, I believe is the date, regardless. So we'll have somebody out there.
What's kind of how complex, I guess, is your offense as far as a newcomer, freshman potentially being able or have enough knowledge to come in potentially and win a job? I mean, is it enough for Brett that he can come in if he's the best guy and be able to win the job?
Well, our job as coaches is to is to make sure the offense is functional for whoever's using it, and so our offense is not easy at all. It's a quarterback-driven offense, and there's certain things that those guys are going to have to do. Now, if somebody is this offense can be directed in any certain direction it needs to go. At Arkansas State, our starting quarterback was not on campus in spring. He came in the summer. He was a 5th-year transfer, and competed in August and won the job. And once we recognized what his skill sets were, then we pushed the offense more in that direction. He got hurt in the last game of the year, and then we played in the bowl game, and our backup quarterback came in, and he had a totally different skill set. So the offense was directed more towards what he was able to do. And so that's our job as coaches, once we figure out who our guy is, to build around his strengths and play to his strengths. And for us, that's just something that my philosophy's always been, and I know Coach Harsin's philosophy's always been. I mean, Kellen Moore was different than Taylor Tharp and Jared Zabransky and David Ash. You're talking about, and Grant Hedrick. All these guys' skill sets were totally different. And so there's a certain DNA of our offense, and then we will direct the offense to the strengths of the quarterback.
Coach Harsin mentioned that you and Mike, obviously, everyone sees things a little bit differently. You mentioned some new wrinkles maybe to the offense. I know you're not going to get into specifics, but is there anything that you're wanting to see this offense change or do differently that maybe we might notice? Or
the long and short of it is, it's never about one person as far as an offensive staff. It's all of us in there, and there's all kinds of ideas. There's a background that I have that makes me see football a different way. And so, yeah, there's going to be some different wrinkles, some different things that we try, different things that we will test out and see if this spring, if they work. But Coach Huff had an idea that we're going to work on and see if that's something that fits. And Coach Adams has had some new ideas in the past game. And Coach Ridd's always got something, under that sleeve. So it's never just about one person. But, yes, there's going to be different wrinkles. Again, people see football different ways. And I think that's actually the really cool thing about game planning, when Coach Harsin comes in that room and he's got totally new wrinkles that I've never even thought of, it's because we see it from a different perspective. And so there's going to be some new stuff. But the best part about what we do is the DNA of this offense is not changed because it's the DNA of our head coach. And that's going to be ultimately where this offense is always pushed.
Sounds like you might try to go faster. Or is it...
We're going to control the tempo of the game. If we want to be able to go as fast as we possibly can, you absolutely, can see that aspect of it. But we're not going to be the fastest football team in the country or anything like that. We're going to have the ability to do whatever we need to do to win football games. And so if that's going fast at times, absolutely, we'll push the tempo. If that means, we're up by 13 with 4 minutes left to go in the game, then we'll take the air out of the ball too. That's not a problem. But yeah, naturally my background has been in tempo, and so feel comfortable operating at those kind of speeds.
Ryan's the one guy you guys have really gotten to see play. What does he bring to the table in terms of attributes as a quarterback that you like?
Did you say Brian?
No, Ryan.
Oh, I was about to say, Coach Harsin? I'm sorry, I was distracted. What was the question? Something about Ryan. What do we like about Ryan?
You got to see him play a little bit. What kind of attributes does he bring to that position? What do you like about him?
I've told these guys, whatever you did last year is not really being factored into what we're doing. Like I told them with me taking over that room with Coach Sanford, what we're doing now is different. What you did in the past wasn't right, wrong. It's just different. So I'm not watching Brett's high school film to tell me, what he's going to do that makes him special. It's what they do starting Monday that really is going to set the tone. But all those guys from Alex to Tommy to Ryan to Brett to Anthony, they all have the talent to be here. That's not the issue. It's whether or not they're going to operate within the system.
It seems like a lot of people are making this a two-person race here with Ryan and Brett. What is it about maybe the other guys that could get them into the mix?
Well, that's all because of hype and whatnot. The reality is it's a competition between anybody that walks in that room and plays the quarterback position. And so, we're going to put whoever's back there is going to help us win the football game. Tommy has been in the system for a full year. He's got escapability with his feet. He throws a good catchable football, and so he's obviously got a chance. Alex has got a strong arm. He's been in the system for, a half a year and has taken plenty of practice reps. So he obviously has the tools to be a very successful quarterback. And so, I think any assumptions that anybody has a leg up or not a leg up is all it is an assumption. We'll see how this thing shakes out on the football field.
You bring back almost your entire starting lineup on offense from the Fiesta Bowl, except for the two guys that had all the yards.
Thanks for reminding me.
How does that help maybe with this quarterback competition that there isn't not maybe as many moving parts around them as if you were replacing most of your offense?
Yeah, it obviously gives them a little bit more of a comfort level that they have some guys who are known producers, and like we've talked about in the offensive staff. Obviously, we've got to lean on that offensive line who's returning the most experience in that tight end group. But each position stands alone on what they're going to do, and so those quarterbacks are going to have to prove their worth, and they're going to have to get the job done. At the end of the day, the quarterback is a very important position in what we want to accomplish.
Ideally, is there a time at the end of spring ball, at the end of summer, at the end of is there a time that you would ideally like to know who the quarterback is?
I'd like to know right now.
Just pick one.
No, we're going to let them compete, and it'll decide out on the field, and that's a conversation that Coach Harsin and I will have as it goes along, and we have a plan. At the end of the day, we have a plan. We know what we are looking for. Coach Harsin's been in quarterback battles before. It's nothing new to me. I've been involved in quarterback competitions from high school all the way to coaching 7th grade, and even being around the other places I've been, you know, all but 1 year we had a complete quarterback competition. So it's not as scary for us as maybe it's made out to be in the media, but we have a plan, and when we know it, you'll know it.
You know, as a whole, as an offense, what are the kind of things you want to see this spring, want to get better at? What big emphasis for you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about several things that we're going to focus on offense. Number one is turnovers. We had too many turnovers last year, and that's something that we've got to correct. As far as the quarterback position, you know, we had too many in the decision-making process. We've got to get corrected. And then pre- and post-snap penalties. You know, we had way too many false starts from an offensive line, a tight end standpoint, and that starts also with the quarterback. And so we're going to get those things. We're going to focus on those things to be a disciplined football team. And then there's other aspects that we're going to focus on, but I'm going to keep those a secret.
You mentioned that offensive line, and you know, not only got all the starters back, but all those young backups who I assume are hungry to get a little more time. What do you expect out of the kind of the competition in that group this spring?
You know, we have a saying around here: practice determines everything. You know, and nobody's guaranteed any positions, and so we're excited about people competing, and those young guys know it. They've been working very hard in the weight room with Coach Pittman. They know exactly what they're capable of doing, and we're excited to let them do it. You know, there is no. We have 5 guys returning who played last year, but I don't necessarily call them 5 returning starters. That starting offensive line could be different than it was in the Fiesta Bowl. That's totally foreseeable based on injuries, competition, all kinds of things. So that thing's open, and we want to see those guys compete every day.
How much have you guys gotten to? I know the rules changed the last couple of years. How hands-on have you been with the guys the last 2 months? What have you been able to see with in terms of their attitude, their work ethic, and how they're bouncing back from a big success like the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, you know, there's no continuum of success, and so that's the thing that's been preached. Is this is a completely new team, and it's a completely new season, and what we've done last year doesn't guarantee us anything starting week 1, and so that's the attitude, the mentality that this team has taken, and that starts with our strength coach, Coach Pittman. He's done a great job, and we've been able to be around them at 5:30 workouts and just continue to press on these guys that, hey, it's a new year and it's a new football team, and there's no continuum of success. I mean, you've got to go out there and reprove yourself every single day. So.
What about you personally? You excited just Monday to get out there and in the new role and get going?
Yeah, I mean, I had a moment yesterday when I was talking to the staff that I was just like, wow, I'm really the offensive coordinator here at Boise State, and it was kind of one of those deals where you just shake your head and you're kind of in shock that you're actually doing that, and it was a cool moment. But with that, you also understand there's a great responsibility, and so yeah, there's going to be a huge level of excitement and nervous energy, but at the end of the day, I remind myself it's just football, and I've coached it before, and you know, it's not all about me. We've got an unbelievable offensive staff that knows how to coach and coaches well, and you've got a head coach who you can lean on at any moment, especially on the offensive side, to help you out. So definitely excited, definitely, you know, ready to get going, start putting this thing together.
One more question. Are you guys all good? All right. Good. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.